Hi everyone, happy Thursday and happy Facebook Live coaching time. I cannot believe how dark it is outside. Usually when we do these live coaching sessions, it is still bright and sunny. Not after daylight savings time, right? It is like feeling like 9 o'clock at night and it's 6:15. What is going on? The same thing that goes on every year at this time, right? I'm so thirsty. I just got done training clients and been running around. So this week, we actually have come across this topic from several people this week. And we're starting with a question from Lisa, which I think I remember it off the top of my head, but I should open it up just to make sure that I'm not missing any part of it. But it has to do with how you stay on track during the holiday time. Because Lisa says it is a tough time to stay on track, which is totally true. Guess what, girl? You are not alone. Everyone is in that boat. And it's such like a mental thing, right? Because November rolls around, especially it's dark out now at what, 5:30 at night. And with the lack of sunlight, sometimes it impacts our mood and our motivation. I'll tell you, just with training clients, I've noticed a huge drop off over the last couple of weeks in the activity in the gym. There's just not a lot of people there. So this is that time of the year that people start to slack, but guess what? That doesn't have to be you. It doesn't have to be. Because think about it, you'll be way ahead of the game when January rolls around. So just to make sure that I am answering your question correctly, I'm gonna just pull it up one more time, but my tips. Okay, let's get into it. What are my tips for how you can stay on track? I gave a lot of thought to this, and I think the first thing that always comes to my mind is, why are you doing this? You have to have a strong reason why you're doing this journey. It has to be something that to the core of you really motivates you. And maybe you've thought about it a little bit, like, okay, I'm doing this for XYZ, but really, why are you doing this? So dig deep. This is gonna be like probably an extreme example, but I was just talking with my client that I was just training, and we get into great conversations. All of my clients and I, we always do. It's like a therapy session for them, actually. But his son is actually 17 years old and is right now on track to play in Major League Baseball as a pitcher. And he's very disciplined, extremely disciplined. So obviously he has a big why, but my client was explaining some of his mindset to me, which sounded very familiar to me, coming from like a competition background. But he was explaining to me that for his son to be able to accomplish his goal of playing in Major League Baseball, he has to eat exactly what he's supposed to eat at the time he has to eat it, whether he's hungry or not, because he's actually very lean and he needs to put on weight. So this is going to come full circle. I'll tie it all in together. But what I'm trying to say is he has a very strong motivation. So when he doesn't feel like eating what's scheduled for him to eat, he does it, and he does it happily because he knows it's going to get him to his ultimate goal, and he just has his eye on the prize. So that's an extreme example, right? You know, this kid, like, he goes to bed at the right time every night. And everything is revolving around the fact that he has this deep motivation, this deep purpose. So we need to find what is our Major League Baseball, right? So for everyone it's different, but I will say that most of the time the motivation is attached to other people, in the sense of, family, being there to see our kids grow up, to see them have grandkids, enjoying every day. So this is one of my main motivations that I think everyone can can really understand this and maybe can claim this as their own motivation. Every day, I want to feel great. I want to feel energized. I want to feel happy. I want to have a love for life. I want to enjoy spending time with people. In any given moment, I want to be able to say, I feel great. I have good energy. I am happy. And I am enjoying the time with the people I'm with. Well, guess what? To truly feel that, you have to fuel your body right. You have to eat the right things. Not to say you can't enjoy what you eat, and that's going to be my second piece of advice, right? So, piggybacking off of that, you have to see yourself, or you have to think of yourself, see yourself, but more importantly, think of yourself as a healthy person, a healthy and a fit person. So that sounds very simple, but it gets really, really deep. So if you tell yourself every day, I am a symbol of health, I am a fit woman, I am healthy, it's who I am. When it becomes who you are, then you actually will just, without even realize it, your actions will start aligning to make you a healthy and a fit person. I mean, it sounds simple, but please believe me when I say there are so many layers to this. And sometimes the reason why we always fall off track during the holiday times is because we give ourselves permission to in our minds. And what goes on in your conscious mind is just the tip of the iceberg. That iceberg is so, so deep, and that's the subconscious. And so your subconscious is what powers you. And that's what they talk about in the visioneering video. So that would be my absolute biggest piece of advice would be every day to tell yourself, I am a symbol of health, I am a fit woman. Tell yourself and believe it, because you will become and you will be what you say and what you think of yourself as. And so the Visioneer video will also add another layer to that and will help you with it. So if you spend some time visioneering, and if you recall the process, you're supposed to think of a happy and a successful time from your past in as much detail as possible, and then visualize the future with as much detail. So I would visualize myself at a holiday party, because you're specifically asking about the holidays and avoiding the emotional eating. So visualize yourself at a holiday party with family, wearing your favorite outfit, looking great in it, feeling comfortable in it, feeling energized, happy, laughing with those people that are your friends and that you love, and eating healthy food and enjoying it. How are you going to eat healthy food and enjoy it at a holiday party? Well, this is going to lead into, so you're going to actually visualize that. And actually, when you do the process, see yourself in that experience making those good choices. Visualize yourself making those good choices. I know it sounds simple, but there is so much power in it, more than you know, more than I know, I think. I truly believe like it's more powerful than I even realize. So now here's what I do to stay on track during the holiday time. First of all, I have my purpose, I have my motivation, which I just shared with you guys. Another big part of my motivation is all of you and all of my clients. And so even though you don't necessarily have clients, I bet you have people that look up to you. Those are your kids, those are your coworkers, your friends, and to help them, if you exemplify what it is like to live healthy, that's the best way to help someone. That's the best way to really, for wanting your children to grow up healthy, that is the best way to help them to do that, is by living by example. So that's another layer of the motivation. But here's what I do during the holiday time. One, my family knows Lindsay is going to make delicious, healthy holiday dishes. So I just put it in my mind for Thanksgiving, I'm gonna cook some paleo stuffing recipes that's gonna have things like onions and mushrooms. It's not gonna have an ounce of dairy or gluten in it. or it's not going to be loaded with sugar and loaded with fat, right? It's going to be based in vegetables, some coconut oil. I'm not saying no sugar, no fat, but I'm just saying it's not going to be like overdosed in it, right? For my flours, for my cakes and pies, I make pumpkin pie. The recipe is in the ebook. So Lindsay's gonna make her pumpkin pie recipe. I mean, turkey is healthy, but I just ask my mom, hey, can we not put dairy in, can we not put butter in the turkey? And they're usually cool with that. And some years they're not cool with it. And so I say, well, okay, if you're not cool with it, I won't impose my ways on you, but I'm gonna make my own turkey. And so, yeah, sometimes is it a bit of a pain to sometimes have to make my own food, but guess what? Most of the time, my family loves, well, they always love the food that I make because I've gotten good at making it tasty and still healthy. And they happily eat what I make. They just also eat some of their own crap too. So, yeah, you want to plan the time to cook the healthy things. But I'll tell you what, when you tell yourself, I am a symbol of health, I am a fit woman, you just do it. It's not, you factor it in like you factor in showering every day, like you factor in brushing your teeth. It's just part of life. It becomes you, right? Just like you have to put on your shoes before you walk out the door, to me, that's what it is to prepare and make sure there's always some cooked chicken in the fridge, always cooked vegetables in the fridge. It's just who I am. Now, do I have days where I slip up? Yes. Do I have days where, shoot, there's no cooked chicken or no cooked veggies in the fridge? Yes, but it's very temporary and I snap right back into it, right? And so to feed off of that, how to stay on track for the holiday time. If you are invited to a holiday party, I would highly encourage you to make a healthy dish and bring it. And one, you'll be seen as a very gracious guest, right? And they'll appreciate your kindness and you bringing some food to the party. And two, you will amaze them because you're gonna make something that's healthy taste great. How are you gonna do that? Well, I can help you with recipes. You can start in the ebook and make something in there. I think I've mentioned this in the past, but whenever I want to make something, I will start by typing in paleo, whatever it is. Now, just because it's paleo doesn't mean that it's figure friendly and that it is good for maintaining a slim waistline, because if there's a paleo recipe that calls for lots of maple syrup or lots of something with lots of sugar and lots of fat, you're gonna end up gaining fat even though it's paleo, right? Because the macronutrients are very important. But the reason I start with paleo is because I know that there's not gonna be inflammatory foods. It's typically gonna be higher in protein and vegetables or real food, higher in fiber, right? Real food has fiber in it. And I'm not gonna have to worry about like having food that's gonna cause bloating and feeling horrible and yada yada, right? So I start paleo, but then I modify the macronutrients to make it more figure friendly. I'll usually, if the macronutrients are not figure friendly, then I'll either, and here's how they would not be figure friendly. Low in protein would be bad. Low in fiber would be bad. High in sugar and fat combined would also not be ideal, right? So I will sometimes modify things. Like if something calls for 6 eggs, I might do 3 eggs and 4 egg whites. If something calls for a whole can of full fat coconut milk, I might do half a can of full fat coconut milk and half with like reduced fat, right? If it calls for 80% lean ground beef, I might do 90%. So I might, make those modifications. So that's what I've done in the recipes in the ebook. If it has high sugar and high fats, I will either say, can I tweak this recipe to make it either a high fat protein based meal and drop the sugar by taking out some of the maple syrup and adding stevia, or taking out some of whatever the sweet sugary thing is and adding stevia? Can I do that? Or will that not work for this recipe and let me just find the next one, right? So just giving you some methodology that I use that has worked very well over the years. But those would be my main tips for how you can stay positive and happy and on track over the holiday times. Give yourself some grace, you know, if you've noticed emotional eating and holiday times has already shown up in your life as of, you know, this point or recently, say it's okay. It is what it is. It happens to everyone. And the question is, how are you going to respond to that? Are you going to get back on track? Are you going to allow that temporary setback to actually be something, let's say it like this. Is it going to be a stone that is thrown at you and hurts you and knocks you down? Or is it going to be a stepping stone, right? Are you going to use it to propel you to something greater and to give you more motivation to go to something greater? So that would be my question as it comes to you for the holiday eating. So I hope that helped. I think both of the questions that I got this week were related to that, but let me double check that before y'all go. And if anyone has any questions as you hear my voice, please let me know. And if not, then you can always put a post on this page and I will do my best to answer it. I will make sure it gets answered. How about that? Let's see. Yeah, I think both of the questions were related to that this week. Yay! So I hope everyone is doing fabulous. Remember, I'm here to help. So if you feel like you need more help, please reach out. I want everyone in this group to succeed. And where there's a will, there's a way, right? So if you want it, you've got it. You just have to ask. Ask and you shall receive. All right, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see y'all next Thursday for another Facebook Live.